All right, fight fans, welcome back for another deep dive. You ready to break down some serious middleweight action?
Always ready for that, especially with a fight like this one. This Adesanya versus Imavov matchup, there are some big implications here for the division.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
This isn't just another fight on the card.
Yeah.
We're talking about a former champ, Adesanya, trying to claw his way back to the top after that loss to Duplessis. And you've got this rising star in Imavov who's looking to make a statement, take out a legend, and really put his name on the map.
100%. You know, we talk about crossroads in a fighter's career. Well, this feels like one of those moments, right? It's not just about this one fight.
Right.
It's about the direction of the division. Who is going to be at the top? What's that next generation going to look like?
And for Adesanya, this is all about proving he can still dominate. I mean, we've all seen his highlight reel. The guy is a sniper in the octagon. That range control, the precision striking, his ability to just dissect opponents with his fight IQ.
Yeah, his fight IQ is insane.
It's unreal.
The middleweight division, it's a different beast now. You know, these new contenders, they're hungry, they're coming in with different styles, they're not afraid to mix it up. And that Duplessis fight, it showed that Adesanya can be vulnerable.
Yeah, that was...
if he can't dictate the pace.
That fight was a puzzle he couldn't quite solve.
Right.
You know, he couldn't find his rhythm, he couldn't quite get into his groove, and Duplessis just took it to him.
And that's what makes this fight so interesting, right? Because Imavov, he brings a whole different set of challenges.
He does.
He's got that MMA factory pedigree training with guys like Francis Ngannou. You know, that kind of environment breeds a certain toughness.
That's a different kind of grit coming out of that gym. And you look at Imavov's record.
It's impressive.
The guy's been dismantling people.
Yeah.
Buckley,
Yeah.
Shabazian.
Yeah.
He can strike, he can grapple, he can mix it up. That's a problem for anyone, even a seasoned veteran like Adesanya.
And that's the thing that's really intriguing about Imavov. I think he's not a one-trick pony. You know, a lot of guys, they come in, they have one strength, right? They're a wrestler, they're a striker. Imavov's well-rounded.
Right.
He can really disrupt Adesanya's game plan, close the distance, force him into uncomfortable positions, maybe even take away that striking advantage.
So when we talk about this stylistic matchup, I mean, are we looking at a potential dogfight? Could Imavov be the one to drag Adesanya into a brawl?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Because we know Adesanya, he thrives when he can control the fight, right? When he can keep it at range,
Right.
use his footwork, his angles, dictate the pace. But if Imavov can get inside, pressure him, disrupt that rhythm, then it becomes a completely different fight.
Yeah, it's almost like that chess match where one player wants to control the center of the board, keep everything nice and orderly, and the other guy's just looking to flip the table over, create chaos, and see what happens.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
And then you add on top of that, Imavov's got youth on his side.
Yeah.
He's hungry. He wants to prove himself against a big name. That can be a powerful motivator.
It really feels like that passing of the torch type of situation. Can Adesanya fend off this new generation, or is Imavov going to usher in a new era in the middleweight division?
That's what we're all going to be watching for, and that's what makes this fight so compelling. It's not just about who wins and who loses.
Right.
It's about legacy. It's about the future of the division and the stakes. The stakes are sky high for both these guys.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's break down Adesanya's style first. I mean, the guy's a striking specialist, right? That's what he's known for. His ability to control the distance, to use those long limbs, and keep opponents at bay with those jabs and leg kicks.
And then, bam, he just unleashes that right hand or head kick when you least expect it.
Exactly. He's got that sniper mentality, you know, just waiting for that perfect opening, and then boom, lights out.
It's like he's playing chess in there while everyone else is playing checkers. Think about that second Whitaker fight.
Yeah. The way he used those feints, the head movement, just to draw Whitaker in.
Head kick, man.
Bang. Head kick. Fight over.
Yeah.
It was a masterclass in timing and strategy.
You could see Whitaker getting frustrated. Like, he couldn't figure Adesanya out. And that's the thing with Adesanya, right? He can adapt.
Yeah.
He can adjust his game plan mid-fight, and that's what makes him so dangerous. But even the best have their weaknesses.
And for Adesanya, a lot of people point to his grappling, right? If you can get him on the ground, take away that striking advantage, that's where he can be vulnerable.
100%. That Duplessis fight, that was a perfect example of that. Duplessis was able to pressure him, back him up against the cage, and you could see Adesanya getting uncomfortable.
Yeah, he just couldn't get out of that clinch.
And once Duplessis got him down, it was game over.
So that's going to be a key for Adesanya in this fight, right? Avoiding those grappling exchanges, staying on his feet, and using that movement to keep Imavov at a distance.
Absolutely. He can't let Imavov dictate where the fight goes. He needs to stick to his strengths, use his striking, and keep it a stand-up battle.
All right, so let's flip the script and talk about Imavov. What does he bring to the table?
Well, Imavov, he's an interesting one. He's got a solid striking base, don't get me wrong. But his real bread and butter is his grappling.
Right.
The guy is a beast in the clinch. He's strong, he's physical, and he can wear opponents down with that relentless pressure.
Yeah, we saw that in the Buckley fight, right? Just grinding him down, eventually getting that takedown, and finishing him with that rear naked choke.
That fight really showcased Imavov's versatility. He's not afraid to mix it up, to go from striking to grappling seamlessly, and that makes him a tough matchup for anyone.
So for Imavov, the key to beating Adesanya, is it as simple as close the distance, get him in the clinch, and try to take him down?
It's not that simple, but that's definitely part of the equation. Imavov needs to make it an ugly fight. He needs to disrupt Adesanya's rhythm, pressure him, and not let him get comfortable.
So it's not just about brute strength. It's about being smart, picking his shots, and not falling into Adesanya's traps.
Exactly. He can't just rush in recklessly. Adesanya's a counter-striker, so he'll be waiting for those openings. Imavov needs to be patient, fight intelligently, and wait for the right moment to explode.
So we're looking at a classic striker versus grappler matchup here. Adesanya wants to keep it on the feet, pick Imavov apart from the outside, and Imavov wants to get inside, make it a brawl, and use his grappling to control the fight.
And that's what makes this fight so exciting. It's a clash of styles, and it's really a toss-up as to who's going to be able to implement their game plan more effectively.
We've talked about Adesanya's potential vulnerability on the ground, but what about Imavov? What are some of his weaknesses that Adesanya could exploit?
Well, experience is a big factor here. Adesanya's been in there with the best of the best. He's a former champion. He's fought in 5-round wars. Imavov, this is his first real test against an elite-level opponent.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see how he handles that pressure. Can he stay composed? Can he stick to his game plan when the lights are brightest? That's a big question mark.
Yeah, and that mental game can be just as important as the physical one, right?
Absolutely. Especially in a fight of this magnitude, there's a lot riding on this for both guys. Adesanya, he's coming off that loss to Duplessis. He needs to prove he's still got it.
Right.
He can bounce back from adversity. And Imavov, he's facing a legend. It would be easy to get caught up in the moment, to let the pressure get to him.
It's almost like they're fighting two opponents in there. The guy across the octagon and their own inner demons.
That's a great way to put it. The mental battle is real, and whoever can stay composed, focused, and believe in themselves, that's going to give them a huge advantage.
Right, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about their styles, their strengths, their weaknesses, even delved into that mental aspect. But before we start making predictions, before we talk about what this fight means for the division, let's focus on those keys to victory. What does each fighter need to do to get their hand raised at the end of the night?
Let's start with Adesanya. For him, it's all about staying disciplined, fighting smart, and not letting Imavov drag him into a brawl. He needs to use his footwork, keep Imavov at range, and be patient.
So stick and move, utilize that jab, those leg kicks, and wait for the perfect opportunity to unleash that power.
Exactly. Now for Imavov, it's the opposite. He needs to pressure Adesanya, make him uncomfortable, and disrupt that rhythm. He needs to close the distance, avoid those counters, and look for opportunities to clinch, to get takedowns, to control the fight on the ground.
So it's a battle of contrasting styles. Adesanya wants to keep it a long-range chess match, and Imavov wants to turn it into a close-quarters war.
And in the end, it'll come down to who can execute their game plan more effectively.
Okay, so we've broken it all down. Styles, strengths, weaknesses, even the mental game. Now for the fun part, predictions. How do you see this one playing out?
You know, it's tough to say for sure, but I think a lot hinges on Imavov. You know?
Yeah.
Can he keep that pressure on Adesanya? Can he really disrupt his rhythm? If he can make it a messy fight, drag Adesanya into those later rounds, I think there's a chance for an upset, maybe even a late round finish.
Wow. Now that's a bold prediction. You really think Imavov has what it takes to stop Adesanya? I mean, we're talking about a guy who's known for his durability, his fight IQ.
It's not necessarily about stopping him. I think it's more about disrupting him, making him doubt himself a little bit, you know, capitalizing on those moments of vulnerability and, you know, coming off that loss to Duplessis. There might be some lingering doubts in Adesanya's mind.
Right.
So if Imavov can get in his head, anything's possible.
That's an interesting point for sure.
Yeah.
But you can't count out Adesanya's experience, that championship pedigree.
Of course not.
If he can weather that early storm, find his range, start landing those counters, he could definitely cruise to a decision victory.
Oh, absolutely. Adesanya fights a smart fight, avoids those grappling exchanges, utilizes that superior striking.
Right.
I mean, he's more than capable of winning this one on points.
Yeah, so we've got youth and aggression versus experience and precision. It's a classic matchup with huge implications for the middleweight division. What's at stake here for both of these fighters?
For Adesanya, this is about redemption. A win puts him right back in the title picture, erases those doubts after the Duplessis loss, solidifies his status as one of the best in the division.
It's a statement win for sure.
And for Imavov, a win over Adesanya.
Yeah.
This is a massive opportunity. It would be huge.
Yeah.
It would launch him into the top tier of the division, make him a legitimate title contender.
Instant star.
Exactly.
Yep.
Overnight, he becomes a star. It would really signal a changing of the guard at middleweight.
This feels like more than just a win or a loss.
Yeah.
This is about legacy. It's about the future of the division.
Yeah, it's a crossroads for both of these guys. It's a chance for Adesanya to prove he's still got it, and a chance for Imavov to announce his arrival on the big stage.
It's a fight with so many layers, so much intrigue, and honestly, I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. So much at stake, contrasting styles. Unpredictable outcome. This is why we love this sport, man.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, we've gone deep, analyzed every angle, and now we just have to wait and see what happens in the octagon. This is a fight you absolutely do not want to miss. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Make sure you tune in for the fight, and as always, keep those hooks damaging.